Back! Yes, nice. Hi. So, what did you miss? You missed a story. Again, nothing too special. Nothing too special. Do you want a cactus? We don't, I think, right? Would leave me with no money. Let's not do that. Cloud. I don't want to read the cloud.
All alone, Reaper. Power at your fingertips. It's electrifying. On your own. You know why? Because they're setting you up.
So?
They're hoping you'll mess up. And you will, because you're a fraud. Eat the blame, Reaper.
Who the frick are you?
You
Who
don't
do you
have
think
what it
you
takes
are?
to succeed. You're a void.
Leave me alone.
I am. Keeping you on your toes, right? It's necessary. Eyes like a lighthouse, Reaper. Watch your back. Be seeing you.
Bye. We have new... Well, what's the name? Boss. Director, Magical Rebel. Are you okay? Let's go back to this. I think this is gonna be the last day we're gonna play. I'm a little done. A farmer found the reason of the bees disappearing. Carnivorous plants. Haha. Serial killer? What? Found and arrested near prestigious White Tower College. The victims' families relieved to finally make peace. The Harvest Festival contest is done. First place goes to the large turnip. The turnip factory will use the prize and money for a bulk order of pesticides. Darn it. Many people in hospital with poisoning from cow smoke. Wait, what? What do you mean with poisoning from cow smoke? Didn't we kill the cow plant? Alright, we are back to normal. The plant department got their act together. You, however, should be intimately familiar with the drill by now. We mitigate chaos, we bolster order. 2 humans have to die. We only have 4. Samuel is an editor with a tragic past. The one they've always kept to themselves. Every day it gnaws at them, causing intense sorrow that can never be alleviated. To numb it all, they become addicted to painkillers, which often cause them to hallucinate mythological things. Interesting. Xantip is an aging senator, holding on to the power because they can't imagine they could do anything else with their life. It's the only thing they have left. Unfortunately, they're also growing increasingly misinformed and illiterate in the way modern world works, both politically and technologically. Not good. Hugh. This is a very Dutch name. Hugh. Focuses on researching red dwarfs and the possibility of finding habitable planets. I thought we were talking about mythological. I thought we were talking about like... Never mind. As a lifelong science fiction fan, they were sad but accepting of their children dressing up as bow-wielding fair folk from a fantastical novel. I'm confused. Why would you be sad about that as a science fiction fan? Jay is a mother of 4 who had their first kid at a really young age. These days, they live together with an extended family. Yes. So then the question is, I think this is so interesting. And I mean, if you have to be sad about your children dressing up, then you know. Bye. Listen, cosplayer, right? there's another cloud. As you enter, the cat is whacking the chew toy aggressively with her paws. The toy cries in the most despondent voice possible. The cat admits, and let's fall another hammer blow onto the toy. Poor toy. Toy doesn't seem to enjoy you bashing it though. I want to talk to them. Never mind, never mind. We're ignoring it. Just ignoring it. With majestic grace, the cat lowers her head onto a pile of documents. The cat notes while casually twirling around on her spot, pawing at the table. Give me 1 sec. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Anyway. I take this means I'm doing well. Seeming more or less pleased. No, that sounds good. A swift nod towards the door with her head makes it clear she'll be leaving. Okay. No lingering with the cat, I take it.
Ah, perhaps ye require a delightful gift for a significant friend.
Dark cape? Yes, I want a cape. I want cape. It's pleasantly warm while offering protection against wind and rain, which you won't actually need as you'll always be stuck at the office. I want it though.
My, 'tis a true
There
classic.
we go again.
See, me and me crew were sailing round the side polar terminus, freezing our nuts off. Blinding storms, icy blizzards. Them some ruthless times. Dog eat dog, they say. Or pirates eat pirates, more like.
Okay.
Got lucky to find a whole field of tundra cotton when we did. Made some cloaks to keep the bones warm. Much too warm nowadays, though. So you're more than welcome to it.
Okay.
Psst. Hey, we don't like what we see. It's suspicious.
Fine.
All
what?
of it. The profiles, the tasks, the chats. Too clean, pristine. What a wreck. Listen to us, Reaper, not the others.
You're not the ones paying me.
Yeah. Listen to me. To me!
You know you are.
Shh. They're probably eavesdropping right now. Let's be off.
Bye. Cloak. Witch. Wild. Vampire. Red Christmas. Pearl. Anon. God. Stone Cold Classic. Let's go for the classic. I love it. Anyway. With that, let's also end the game. It does save that, right? Continue, yes. Nice. Oh, okay. Is that one on? Can we hear that? Okay, that one's too soft. Give me a song. Okay, now I'm hitting all the soft ones. Give me... There we go. Yes, Spotify's on. Great. Great. Okay. Well then. What are we gonna do? We can, if we want to. Oh. Play some Minecraft, I guess? Or some Tetris. I feel like playing Tetris as well. As for Minecraft, there are some things I should try out and I should work on, but I don't feel like doing that right now. Like for the what's it called? The data pack. Data pack. It's called a data pack. Tetris? Yeah, let's do that. Let's play Tetris. Tetris. Almost. Let's see. Wait, I shouldn't... Okay, wait, let me do it. Let me do it. Now it should be... Oh, wait. Now it's Tetrio. I think... Would you have to put a dot in there for it to be actually Tetrio? No, you tried. Confused. Very confused. There we go. Okay. So, let us... we want Chrome. Yes, we want Chrome. And we want window capture of Tetrio. Show it. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, let's do the Tetra League. Sounds like a good plan. Wait, I don't have a rank anymore? Oh. Is it loud? No. Match found. There we go. Against Celeb. Oh gosh. Let's go. That was dumb. It was me not looking forward well enough. Wait, what? Don't give up. I don't like this. Let me win. Property. Well, no, don't let me win. Give me the chance to win. Then, fairly. I don't like this. Ah, not going well. Why? Unfair. Huh. Let's just say I scared him off. Let's pretend I did. Who's next? Bamano. Okay, let's try. I don't like games like that. They put my level askew. Well, not my level, like my score. Don't like it. I always think it's really 3, but there's 4. Something like that? Okay. Yay! That went well. Oh no, didn't want to do that. Oh no. Made a mistake. I'm dead. Ah, that was GG. That was really good. Nope, let's not do that. That was dumb. See? Thank you. That was lucky. That's less lucky. That was a cool game. Liked it. They didn't, I guess. Woo! We won. Why did I lose my rank though? Because I had a rank. Is it just because I haven't played in a while? That's such. Whatever. Makoko. Let's go. Let's put it right there, there. Oh no, let's put it here. Nice. Oh, that is so sad. It's the wrong way around. I'm screwed. I screwed up. Woo! That was a save! Good lord! Oh, that save! Holy crow. I don't really like this one to go anywhere. Okay, bye. Never that mine. this. There we go. Okay. There we go. Woo! On a roll. That's dangerous. For some reason, I expected to make points there. Okay. It's dumb. Oh no. Ah! Nice. There we go. That was a nice setup. Kind of by accident, but that's okay. They want to go again? How do we go again? Oh, they left the room. Never mind. Let's go! Exactly. Exactly. Doing well here. It's going real well. Oh, I don't want that, please. Let's be kind. Okay, let's see. What are we gonna do here? They seem to be going so fast. okay, never that mind. Oh, it's not the smartest move I could have done. That's okay. We will make it work. Not quite what I'm looking for. Why would I want to go make it work? No, this is bad. Okay. Damn it. Oh gosh, that was tough. Why? Nope, 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 nope. Patch. That was tough. Okay, again. I should be careful setting stuff up though. Because they are really way better than I am. Case. Holy crow! Nope, 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 I'm done. I'm done for. Holy crow! Okay, I tried. GG indeed. Do you want to go again? How do we go again? Oh, whoops. Whoops! Not what I wanted to do. Never mind. I don't know how playing again works. That was a tough one. I had wanted to play again to, you know, figure out a strategy to go beyond that. Because I feel like if I would have played, like, safer. But then again, the last time I played more safe. Didn't really work out either. Whoops. Next battle against C Grunt. Okay? CG Runt. Hahaha. Whoops. Okay. Let's see. I don't really know what to do with that one. Wait, they're there already? Okay. 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 Understood. You can play very well. I don't want to use that one. Okay, never not mine. I think I just died. Oh, yeah, never mind. What? Darn. Darn. Again. How are you gonna solve that one? Whip. Not 8 yet. It's worth a shot. Come on. Dumb. Nice save. Thank you! It was a nice save. Holy crow. Please. Sure. No. Okay, how are we gonna say that? Long way around. Once again, the wrong way around. Nope, nope, no, 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 no. Nope, we're done. Damn it. That was dumb. Oh, I made a mistake. Okay, we'll do better. Would have been cool. was so much fun. I had to. I don't wanna build it up too much. This is our last one. So, you know, if I lose this, then we'll be done. This music, I mean, oh my god. Okay, come on, let's yes. Okay, there we go, we're back. Be careful. No, I am... Ah! No. I am screwing up. Too bad. Please go on that side. Yes, thank you. No. I wanna win. No! That was so much fun. Oh gosh. I have a rank again. Oh. I wanna go again. How do we go again? Go play again. We can't play again. Can you never play again? I think I have done that before, haven't I? Also, there is this left or disconnected. Server switched. Okay, sure. Umikola. Okay. Whew. I keep forgetting how much fun Tetris is until I play it. Oh wait, that was the wrong way around. Whoops. I may have done it dumb. No. Thank you. And again. Okay. That was not smart. Let's move a little bit. Whatever. Making a whole bunch of stupid mistakes. No, I was moving it. I was moving it. Ah. Okay, what are we gonna do here? Let's do it like this. Whoop. I don't want to do that yet. That's risky. I know, but I'm gonna try it. Want to. Let's not play too risky. No! No. Ah! There we go. Ah, we're going so fast again. Wait, what? I am pretty sure I did not say that, but okay. Never mind. Holy crow! Ah, it speeds up so fast at some point. Like, if I can't win it in like the first couple of goes, then I'm lost. at the same time I have to be careful. Really. Oh my gosh. Oh, never mind. Build upstairs. Maybe wasn't the smartest one to put there, but I didn't know where else to put it. Okay. Not going well. Nope, nope, yes, sir. Great. Oh, this is not... No, no, no. Okay, never mind. That was a tough one. Whoa, okay. That was such a tough one. Oh, we already have a new battle? And Ginny. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Okay. So... Yes, I've got a plan. Nice. I don't like this very much. What were they doing? Why? Ooh. Such. Why are they not building then? Crocodile is giving you motivation in the background. Yes! Yes, he is! Maybe I'm a little loud. Maybe that's what he's trying to tell me. Why are they not playing? What did they do that they had so much free space? I don't know. I don't understand. No clue. They're so quick with finding me the new battles. Hello, Halo, Halo. Halo, Halo. Hello. Okay. Okay. Why? Whoops. Ah. Oh my god. Sometimes, right? Oh. That's as much as I could do. Ah, so much. Holy crow. Whoa! That was a save! Good lord! Nice! Whoa! Where I wanted to put that picture. We'll figure it out. I think. Or maybe not. Okay. Let's try again. That's what happens when you, like, give garbage like that. You know, it's sort of clean. It's not quite clean, but it sort of is. Now you give me the opportunity to, like, clean it up like that. No! No, 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 no. Okay. Okay. It's the wrong way around, but sure. Okay, now we're going too fast. Now I can't keep up. Now I'm not even close to being able to keep up. Nope. Not where I wanted it to go. Holy crow! slept in a little too long? Don't tell me you just woke up. Don't tell me you just woke up. How about your sleep schedule? Like, you were trying to keep that up. Why do I keep making mistakes like that? It's gonna be annoying again. Fine. Whoa! Half an hour ago I came out of bed, which took a while though. Oh gosh. Still, that's 3 o'clock! Well, I hope it was a good sleep then. I hope it was. So Bram slept in, Tay slept in. Ooh. You feel rested? That's most important. Sometimes after these really long sleeps, you wake up just feeling tired. Like more tired than had you gotten up early. At least I have that. Sometimes a little annoying, but nah. Imagine me sleeping in. Well, I mean, 9 o'clock is sleeping in for your standards, right? Listen, sleeping in, what that means is relative. So, if sleeping in for you is sleeping until... let's put it there. Are you kidding me? Sag! Nice. Technically isn't. No, sleeping in is relative. The hour range of me waking up at 7 AM to 9 AM. Oh, okay. Then it was a normal time. Then you're completely right. I'm sorry. I thought I was so proud of you for sleeping in. Guess I'll then be proud of you for getting up on time. That was dumb. Now I have a hole there. Never this mine. Oh wait, I can sort of salvage it. I can really salvage it. Look at that. Ha. Did it. Now what? Salvages that one thing, goes on to make another really bad mistake. There we go. Nah. Do I want it? Yes, I want it. I just needed you. Where were you a moment ago? Sure. Okay, I see. Easy. Understood. How am I gonna salvage this? That was not what I wanted to do, but sure. Was sleeping on it. Okay, there we go. Are you kidding me? I should not have lost this. What's on the docket today, by the way? What's the docket? Go. Be careful though. Nice enough. We're gonna do the other way around. Let's try it. Usually it doesn't work out, but let's try it. For some reason I can only think one way in Tetris. Nice try. What games have you planned today? This is the last game. I will be stopping soon. I've been going on, like, I know the time says 1 hour, like 1.5 hours. I have been going since 11, but my stream has crashed a couple of times. So I am actually planning on stopping soon-ish. I need to leave anyway. I need to go to my dad. Dumb. That's not a smart move. It doesn't really fit anywhere. By the way, I have an idea of who we could raid. Well, if you have an idea, let's hear it. You missed the stream. Yes, you did. We played Adventure for a bit, which was a cute and wholesome game about two AIs working together to build the perfect world, and then to come to the conclusion that there is no such thing as a perfect world, and all you can do is try your best. And that was great. That was very great. It was cute. And then we played Death on Taxes, which I must say is a very underwhelming game. Maybe things have to like pick up. But it's fun. It's fun. But I feel like it's one of those games that you play while trying to chat. Maybe. I think. Cause it's like Papers, Please, for example. I've seen gameplay from that. And that felt like it was a whole lot more thinking and a whole lot more keeping track of things and whatnot. This one was one layer of rules usually that you have, like, well, 2 at most that you have to stick to. Like this amount of people that you need to kill and this rule to stick to. And we were on day 11 already, so I had hoped it would pick up the pace after the first 7 days. Didn't quite. Not yet. So maybe, you know. And then Tetris. So that's what you missed today. Sir Pals. Yeah, I saw. They are online. Playing Minecraft. Sounds like a good plan. Serp's pronouns are... How do I pronounce the first 2 though? Is that literally C? An A? And also thank you. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. The third one is like confusing because that's the Dutch version of she. So that doesn't feel like a neopronoun. What are we gonna do here? Whoop. There we go. I almost hit it there. Oh. Not what I wanted to do, but sure. Wait, how come they gave me so much more? No, I disagree with this. Yeah. Ooh, nice save. It's nice for me. Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh gosh. No! Never mind. I bought the Doctor Strange tickets because you don't need one, right? Yeah, I don't think I need one, indeed. That said, I still need to arrange stuff for that. So I don't think I got an answer from everyone I need to get an answer from. For that to work out. Darn it. Excuse you. What? Okay. Never mind then. Nice. Okay. Let's keep this. That's perfectly. Woo! I wanna learn how to build up to like a full clear. Because that would be fun to be able to do. So this one's not really helping. Let's put it there. Actually. And then we have those that fit real nicely there. Ooh. Really, I was really happy with that. I was really happy with that. I don't know whether that was a smart move, but we'll figure it out. We'll see. I don't know. Please move over! Yeah, nope. Nope. Ah. quite a long one though, wasn't it? Felt long. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking where this is going. I will need 2 of those. I'm not liking this at all. How to salvage? How to salvage? How to salvage? How to salvage? I don't know. Something like this, I guess. Oh, come on! Why could be nice to me? There we go. It's also very stupid. We're not gonna talk about that. We just aren't gonna talk about it. We're just gonna hope that they screw up well enough for us to be salvaged. Honestly, I don't think it'll happen. But, you know, one can hope. Right? Holy crow! Okay. Again. This is gonna be LG, by the way. It's taken quite a long while. Which is, you know, fun. Oh. Wait. Excuse what? What? Do I get a say in this? Guess I do. Heh! Thought that they could trick me. Haha. No trickery today. How? I don't know. I don't know, but I survived. I'm happy. Not asking too many questions about the how. I need to. Yes, exactly. That's why I need to. enough. Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay. Darn it. This is a really cool one. I love this game that we've got going here. It's tough, but that's okay. That was not smart at all. Why? Never mind. Rich! Really? Ah! Stupid mistake, stupid mistake. Such. That's really cool though. Wait, what's this stat? What is VS? What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I said this was gonna be LG. I should stick to that. Oh, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. That was a whole lot of fun. Thank you so much for being here. I'm once again sorry for the couple of internet issues. But yeah. We figured it out. We did. Let me pull up. Where's my deck? No, that's not my deck. That is not my deck. Here. There it is. And yeah, let's go raid Sir. Sounds like a good plan. The stream was so fun. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Glad you did. And thank you for being here. I hope you're feeling better. And if not, I hope you feel better soon. Yeah, thanks all for being here. And please go say hi. Oh, right. Let me open it up here. Yes. Nice. Circ might end. Well. Whoops. Then be quick with saying hi. Bye bye.